Hey, what is up you guys? My name is Catherine and welcome to my channel. If you missed yesterday's video, welcome to Throwback Thanksgiving week. I will pop the link for that video up above. I never remember what side it's on, but the gist of this week, I am posting a new video every day this week, doing an eyeshadow tutorial using a palette that is at least 1 year old or older, and today's video is especially special to me because this is the first like big girl eyeshadow palette I ever got. I've been into makeup my whole life, but I started really getting into makeup when I was like 14 or 15, and I remember buying this when I was 15 years old, sophomore in high school, in February. Like, that's how specifically I remember it. And this is the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. So this came out in 2011. It was obviously the sequel to the original Urban Decay Naked palette. It's mostly cool tones with just a couple pops of warm toned shades in here. Actually only has 3 mattes and the rest of the shades are shimmers, which is crazy to me. Like, that's just so weird that that's like how it used to be with all eyeshadow palettes. I remember these eyeshadow palettes were the absolute shit. Like, anyone who was anyone in the makeup world had at least one of these palettes. If you owned one of these eyeshadow palettes in high school, you were like the coolest person ever. And these aren't really colors. Thank you, Charlotte, for stepping into my intro. I love your little tail. My cat wants attention. I need to hurry up. So these were just like the most popular thing back in the day, and while these aren't really colors that I gravitate towards anymore, I will never be able to get rid of this because it just holds such a special place in my heart. Like, it was my first real eyeshadow palette. So today's look is not really like a look that I would typically do today in 2018. It's more of a tribute to the eyeshadow and makeup trends that were popular when this palette came out and when these palettes were in their prime. Like, if I could send 14, 15-year-old me a selfie of this makeup look, she would think that 20-year-old her was the absolute coolest person in the world, and she'd be so wrong, but she'd be like, damn, my eyeshadow skills they're something. So anyways, sorry for the long intro. I'm just really sentimental about these palettes. If you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. I am here every single day this week. Then once this week is over, I typically post on Wednesdays and Sundays. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me out as a creator. And let me know down below what your first big girl eyeshadow palette was. I'm sure for a lot of you it was one of the Naked palettes as well, but I still really want to know. And let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. Would it be a proper Urban Decay video if I didn't prime with the Urban Decay primer potion? I don't think so. Who else remembers when this, the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and the MAC paint pots were the only primers acknowledged, like, at all? I'm gonna be doing my like technique a little different today than from how I normally do. I'm actually gonna be starting out with the shade Busted. It's the darkest shimmery brown in the palette. It's very cool toned. I'm going into that on a Coastal Scent Pro Fluff blending brush. Because there are only 3 mattes in this palette, definitely have to be using shimmers in the outer corner and in the crease. So that's where I'm starting out today, placing this in the outer corner and up in my crease. See, this is so dark, like it just looks black on camera pretty much. I think I'm getting a sty on my eye from like crying or something, so I definitely should not be putting eye makeup on right now, but what you gonna do? Now I'm going to be going into the shade Tease. This is the matte taupe shade in the palette. I went into that on my Alamar Cosmetics blending brush. I really don't remember how pigmented this is at all, and I'm like scared to have too much. So I'm running over the shade Busted and like sweeping it all the way across. This one is like slightly oval shaped, so it's really good for just doing like back and forth windshield wiper sort of motions. So I'm now just gonna go back into the shade Busted and then also dip into the shade Snakebite a little. I'm not gonna go back into the shade Busted, but also dip into the shade Snakebite just a little bit to hopefully bring out the brown of that a little more. And I'm just gonna do some more swiping motions in the outer corner instead of packing motions. It's so weird to be putting like all of these shimmers in my crease because makeup today, it's like a cardinal sin to put shimmer in your crease. At least on YouTube. That's how people act. And I am going to be doing a cut crease today. I want that like really dramatic, like going to the club sort of eye going on today. And if you've been on my channel for a while, I don't even have to tell you, but I've got my ColourPop No Filter Concealer and my Real Techniques lip brush. Alright, cut creases are really hard to do on camera, so there's gonna be a jump cut that you just had to witness. Anyways, I'm going into the shade YDK now. This shade is amazing and really unique in my opinion. It is like a rose silver is how I would describe it. I just feel like it's so beautiful. So I'm using the flat end of a Naked 2 brush, the brush that came with the palette. I actually love this brush quite a bit and I use it a lot. And I did wet the brush. So I'm starting out by packing this onto the middle of my lid. Only go on the middle of the lid. I'm going to be using another shade for the inner part. Yeah, I did spend some time working it up to get this effect, but I mean, I feel like this shade is so beautiful. It's beautiful. Now for the inner part of my eye, I'm going to be going into the shade Verve. It's right next to YDK, and it is a light silver shade. Going into that on my little like flat rounded lime crime brush. I'm gonna wet my brush too for this. It's very subtle, but that does just give a little more dimension to the eye and give it like that subtle inner eye highlight look. Going back into Busted once again to just blend out the edges of YDK. I'm going to be doing a wing for this look, but I want to sort of create a base for that wing. So I'm going into the shade Blackout on this like angled elf brush. Defining eye brush, barely has the label on it. And I'm just doing that sort of winged motion with this brush. And then I'm just going to blend that with that Coastal Scents brush, not adding any new product onto the Coastal Scents brush. I'm just going to do some liner and lashes, which I cannot do on camera. And I'm going to put my face makeup on, and then I'll be right back for the under eye. This is probably the most like intense, full coverage, highlighted and contoured look I've ever done on this channel. Like, I don't even feel like I look like myself right now. I just felt like I went with the look and the whole vibe of the Naked palette era. Oh my god, this is so weird. I keep looking at the monitor. I'm like, who even is that? What the heck? Oh my god. Anyways, I'm going back into Blackout on this AOA Studio liner brush, and I'm just using that as a liner. I'm only going out to about the outer portion of my iris. Y'all, this could get real messy real fast. Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm going into that Alamar Cosmetics brush. Not adding any new product to it, and I'm sort of pinching it to give it a more defined tip. I'm just running that along Blackout. Now I'm going into this pointy brush that has no name. Actually, no, it has a name. It's an AOA Studio E124. And I'm going back into YDK, and that's going on the inner part of my under eye. Like, barely shows up, but like, it's cute. Now, like, I don't really remember inner eye highlighting being a huge thing when this palette was a huge thing, but I'm just gonna take a little bit of the shade Booty Call on my pinky, like just the teeniest bit, on my inner eye to help, you know, open things up. And then I'm adding some mascara to my lower lash line. And I'm finishing off the look with this Urban Decay Vice lipstick in Earthling. Because would it even be an early 2010s look without the foundation lips? I don't think so. Alright, you guys, this is sort of the final look. Like I've said about a million times in this video by now, this is not really a look that I would wear out today in 2018. I would never, ever, ever do such a dramatic, cool toned look without adding glitter to it. That is for darn certain. So this is the look that is in the thumbnail and that you guys saw at the beginning of this video. However, since I would 100% add my Stila liquid eyeshadow to this look if I was going to wear it out, I'm going to do that right now just so you guys can see how this looks. I wanted to like keep it mostly a naked to tutorial, but also just to show you guys how I would do it if it wasn't a one palette tutorial. So this is the shade Smoke and Whistles. It's literally the same color as the lid shade YDK. It's like not focusing. It's like the same color. It just has a little bit of silver glitter in it. So I feel like it's gonna go so beautifully over this lid. So I'm only putting this over the center of my lid where the shade YDK is. And this one's like almost empty. It's crazy. Alright, so this is the final look plus glitter. Just added a little something something, didn't really make a huge difference, but to me in my soul, it made a difference. So this brings us to the end of the video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It just feels extra special to me because This palette is so sentimental to me. So if you did, definitely don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.